Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Utility Safety and Environment Committee meeting for Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the March 20th, 2024 Utility Committee meeting minutes. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
It was moved in second, Mr. Armstrong and Mr. Oswald, excuse me. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of advertising for bids and entering into a contract for tree service for the city. Safety Service Director Pianowski.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. This is, we have an ongoing tree service contract that we renew every 2 years, or we put out for bid every 2 years. And so we do have a forestry service here, our own employees, but this is for trees that are larger than that, what they can handle, or maybe different projects that we have to take down multiple trees. So this is just an ongoing contract that we always have with somebody that needs to be rebid again. So that's what we're asking to do, to put it out for bid and see who bids on it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pianowski. Mr. Pianowski, do you need emergency on this?
It is, this was supposed to have been done towards the end of last year, so we're a little behind. So we would like it as an emergency, just so we can get it resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding the tree service? Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Chair, to Mr. Pound, do we have like a dollar figure that we don't go over?
Well, no, not at this point. I mean, it'll be a bid for the work, and it'll give us pricing for the job. And then, as the jobs come up, we'll pay that pricing. So no, there's not a not to exceed at this point, no.
Wow. Thank you. And I just want to say, I worked with Scott just recently on removing a tree in one of my residents' yards, and he was a pleasure to work with. He was very, very helpful, and he got it done. So
yes, I would agree. Our forestry folks are very responsive. Scott does a nice job of leading the team, and this is for the jobs that we just can't quite handle in-house, and it helps us get those things taken care of. And also emergency tree removal. Something blows over into the road in the middle of the night, you know, in a storm or something like that. A lot of that comes out as part of this contract too.
Oh, great. Mr. Stewart, did you have a question?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Are the funds still coming out of the 2016 half% income tax? Is that where that's going to be still coming from? You know that at this time?
I don't know what account that comes out of at this time. We'd have to follow up with Finance Director on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Mr. Pianowski?
Call for the question.
Well, I got to read the committee report. Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of a contract for tree service for the city, and this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for tree service. Current contract expired December 31st, 2023. Emergency clause requested.
We do have an extension going, so there is coverage right now.
Okay. Mrs. Deary explained we do have an extension on that contract, so we're covered. So can I get a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Davis, second by Mr. Armstrong. Any additional questions?
Call for the question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of entering into a new water purchase agreement with Northern Ohio Rural Water. Law Director Deary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assistant Law Director Brunig has been in discussion with legal counsel for Northern Ohio Rural Water and also Mr. Jacob regarding this. They're looking to simplify the billing procedure, replacing, right now they have a multi-tier system. Want to simplify that to a single-tier system, which will benefit the city. Essentially, we meaning City of Elyria, have been selling water to Northern Ohio Rural Water for quite a few years now, and we will be continuing to do that, essentially. So.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter Bear with me one second. Thank you. We have considered the matter of entering into a new water purchase agreement with Northern Ohio Rural Water. This is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into said water agreement. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Stewart, second by Mrs. Davis. Are there any additional questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Does this need to be emergency?
For the record, Ms. Mitchell, that was Mr. Oswald that made the motion. I'll take credit, though.
Okay. I apologize.
You're good.
The next item on the agenda is the matter of advertising for bids and entering into a contract for parking lot paving at Fenwood Estates, Abbey Road Park, and West Park. Park Director Reardon.
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. So these are the paving projects that we would like to do this year with our, not with our, but as part of our master plan, the Parks Master Plan and the Issue 6 monies. So, Fenwood, Abbey Road, West. Yeah, there's two sections at West. It's not the whole park at West. There's two sections. The lot off of Clemens, which is currently just stone lot. We would like to pave that. There is really the only spot left in West that hasn't been repaved is kind of in front of our maintenance building, and we were waiting for the big project over there to be done. So it starts just when the maintenance building starts, and it goes around that corner down in front of the new pickleball court. So that it will be those sections at West. Abbey Road Park is, the parking lot is barely there. That needs a lot of work. And then Fenwood, if anybody's been out to the lights, it has been a long time since it's been paved. So those are the three projects, the paving projects that we want to do this year.
Thank you, Mrs. Reardon. Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Madam Chair, Ms. Reardon, I'm not sure who I had discussion with, but we were talking about the entrance road into Fenwood, and that is very narrow. Okay, so at this point, are we thinking that we're going to make it a little bit wider and dress it up? Because now how many thousands and thousands of cars? So is that in the plans to do something to widen that and make that a little bit nicer?
Yeah, thank you, Chair, through you. So the plans are not finalized with engineering yet, but yes, that is the idea, is to widen that as much as we can. It's not going to be a lot. There's not a lot of room there. But yes, to gain as much, access as we can on either side. And then as you come up to the house, there's another section where we're able to add a little bit more to really come within code where we should be. So yeah, we're going to get as much as we can out of that area.
Mr. Armstrong.
Through you, Madam Chair. What are we doing with the East River parking lot?
So from my through you, Chair, from my understanding, that is going to be done. That is not coming out of our Issue 6 money. So that's not part of this, but from my understanding, there is money and that will be completely redone. I think the director may have some information.
Mr. Pianowski.
Thank you, through you, Madam Director. We are intending to completely redo that parking lot. We have a quote. We've committed to that quote, but it's a different source of funds, so it's an amount that doesn't even need to come here for approval. So it's my understanding we'll be moving forward with that one this year as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Stewart.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. Ms. Reardon, in regards to Fenwood, and then I think you mentioned the Abbey Road Park, is that just going to be are we just going to be grinding that down, or are we removing some of that just because over the years, obviously, it's taken its toll? Is it a total removal and replacement on some of those, or no?
So thank you, through you, Chair. Yeah, I believe Fenwood is going to be, I don't believe the whole lot needs to be completely removed, but not most of it. There's a section, if you kind of down the middle of the main one, and then a few sections within the lot that really need to be completely removed. Abbey Road Park is going to be a complete redo. And I'll be honest, I didn't really know this, but there used to be a very nice pathway that led from Abbey Road to the parking lot, and now it's grassed over. It's not really there. So we're going to reestablish that path. We're also going to add some drainage kind of out towards past the play structure out there. That will help because there's a lot of water that sits right now in between the parking lot and the play structure. That area stays very, very wet. So, talking with engineering, there's, some sort of drainage thing out there. I'm not even gonna try to say what it is, but, we're gonna be able to run drainage to keep that dry. And we're actually going to extend the lot a little bit to the, I guess that would be to the west, to make the lot a little bigger there. So that's gonna be a little bit more than just a scrape and redo, because we're gonna reestablish some of that stuff. But yeah, Finwood is in bad shape. So that's gonna be quite the project.
Thank you.
West Park, the Clemens side, is that going to expand a little bit? Because that parking lot's really not that big.
Yeah, we're gonna expand it probably, are you talking to the east?
To the west. That's what I was thinking.
To the west? We're gonna have to see, because I'll be honest, our property line is right there.
Oh, I see.
That's why we couldn't bring the trail onto that side of the baseball field, because our property line is very close. So we'll have to kind of see that. We do want to expand it to
You could
at
go-
least hit the, trail. I mean, not hit the trail, we're gonna work on some more of that, barrier stuff, but, yeah, it'll look a lot nicer than the stone.
Yeah, if you've ever played at West Park and you've had kids on that field and the Clemens side, if it's raining, it's very muddy.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Well, it's
muddy.
a lot of wetlands out there also,
Yes,
so.
very much
yeah.
so. Are there any other questions for Mrs. Reardon? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of advertising for bids and entering into a contract for parking lot paving projects at Fenwood Estate, Abbey Road Park, and West Park. And this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for said park paving project. These projects are part of the Parks Master Plan, and funds have been appropriated in the 2016 half% income tax fund. Emergency clause is requested. Can I get a motion, please? So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Davis, second by Mr. Stewart. Are there any other questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of advertising for bids and entering into a contract for repairs of beams at the North Park Ice Arena. Director Reardon.
Thank you, through you, Chair. So as you all know, our ice rink is open-aired, so we get a lot of different weather in there. And over the, past however many, 30-some years that it's been there, if not a little more, we have some rust spots, we have some holes in some of the beams. So, this project will allow us to do some, in the grand scheme of the building, there'll be minor repairs to the beams, but there will be some repair work to the beams, and then also, paint all of the beams. But yeah, that's what this project is, and I mean, it like I said, it's needed. There's all kinds of weather that gets in that building because it is, open, but that's what this will accomplish.
Thank you. Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Madam Chair, are they steel beams?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of advertising for bids and entering into a contract for repair, cleaning, and painting of beams in the North Rec Ice Arena. And this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the said project. This project is part of the Parks Master Plan, and funds have been appropriated. Emergency clause requested. Can I?
So moved?
Second.
Excuse me. Moved by Mr. Stewart, second by Mrs. Davis. Any other questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of entering into a contract for the addition of a South Park baseball field. Director Reardon.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. So this project will be in a very similar place at South Park that the other baseball field is. In fact, the outfields will line up against each other based on how the plans are set right now. This will be almost 50-50 split between, this is actually from 2023 CDBG money and some of our Parks 2016 half% fund monies for this year. So, South T-ball has really expanded, and I know they're not just T-ball now, but their original, I keep going back, but the South, I think they're called the Athletic Club now, has really expanded their fields, and they're actually using 2 fields at West also, and actually looking for more fields right now. So This will be a great project for out there. It'll add, you know, it'll definitely be used, so, and we're able to share the cost with CDBG money.
I think it's great. They've done an awesome job with that program.
Mhm.
And last year, I know they used the fields at West, and
Yeah.
to hear they're adding more. So, but I have one question.
Mhm.
There's not a whole lot of parking at South Park. Are there any plans, I don't know where you would put it?
Through you, Chair, thank you. So in the Parks Master Plan, there is for future development, you know, possibly expanding that parking lot that's down there by the fields. It's not big right now, but there is some room to expand that. And then also in future plans, if possible, the lot, as you come into South and you pass the rec center and you would look, kind of, I guess, towards where the football plays on the left there, there are future plans that there's room there to expand that parking lot. So
Okay.
there is some, in our master plan, some expansion, options if we were to choose to do that.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Armstrong?
Through you, Madam Chair. So the new park will be to the north or to the east of the existing park?
So through you, Chair, so that, you mean the field?
Yeah,
So the new field would be,
going towards 16th Street?
no, it's gonna be going towards like the creek and stuff. So if you're standing in the outfield of the current field and you look southeast, that'll be where the field is.
Mr. Armstrong?
Through you, Madam Chair. So will we have to remove all those trees that's over there? Okay.
Through you, so, as the plans stand now, there may be one tree that they thought they might have to remove, but no, there should not have to be any trees removed. What we may end up doing, and I would say this is probably like 90% sure, is there's quite a bit of space between the home plate and the backstop of the existing field. So really, we could shift that whole, not the fencing, but we could shift all the bases and everything back by probably about 8 to 10 feet, which would make that field, you know, that much bigger. Their plan is to use the current field strictly for T-ball, so you don't really need an outfield for T-ball. And then that would allow the other field, because the other field will be a full-size, I call it Little League, but it's up to, I think, 12U or 14U they're able to use it for, with a fence and everything. So the new field will have an outfield fence and all that stuff, and then the existing field will just be used for their T-ball games program, thing like that.
Are there bleachers over there, Mrs. Reardon, for people to sit and watch the games?
Through you, yes. Currently, there are bleachers, and this plan does call for, you know, bleachers and all that stuff.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions, Mr. Oswald?
Through you, Madam Chair. Ms. Reardon, just food for thought. I know back in the year 2000, Jack Serra, Councilman Serra was not councilman at that time, but I'm thinking he was president or assistant president of the North, the baseball, Little League North.
Mm-hmm.
He got a bunch of people together, they got donations, they teamed up with, at the time, I was the president of the BIA at that time, and we made that one of our projects, and we got together, we had the construction people, and we built these fields, and it was a great idea. We had a fair at the end and everything like that. We've had Eagle Scouts, they're getting their badges. They did a path, I think, in the backside of Finwood.
Uh-huh.
We've had, pavilions built by like the people at the BIA. There's things like that we could use that could really promote a lot of this stuff, making concession stands and trying to get that word out. And a lot of times these clubs and things want to be involved in doing this kind of stuff. So just food for thought, you know, to put that word out and see. So just wanted to let you know.
Yep, no, thank you, through you, Chair. Yeah, we're always looking for volunteers and things like that. Lorraine County Beautiful Day is coming up, May 18th, so if you know of any groups that would want to do projects, that's, you know, actually a very good day to do those. But yeah, we're always looking for, you know, people to help with, you know, certain projects and things.
And that may be something to reach out to Mr. Bowens with as well.
Uh-huh, oh yeah.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for the addition of a South Park baseball field. and this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract for said project. 2016 half% income tax fund and CDBG funds have been appropriated. Emergency clause requested. Mrs. Jerry?
Through you, Madam Chair. Director Reardon, has a contractor been selected, or are you going out for bids on this?
Through you, Chair. So no, a contractor has not been selected. We did have a company start last year on the plans for it.
Okay,
So we're very close, but no, the contractor will be selected once it goes out to bid.
so you are going out, so you're asking to go out, to go out for bid and to
Yeah.
then enter a contract? Okay, thank you.
Bear with me 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just noticed I messed that up on the referral. I apologize. I missed that part.
Ms. Reardon, why this is kind of being out through Madam Chair. So do we do the engineering in-house? Or was it, or is
Through
that-
you, no, we had somebody
Okay,
do the engineering for the field.
okay, thank you.
So let me reread this again. So we have considered the matter of authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the addition of a South Park baseball field. And this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the said project. 2016 half% income tax fund and CDBG funds have been appropriated. Emergency clause requested. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Stewart, second by Mr. Armstrong. Any additional questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. The last item on our agenda is the matter of advertising for bids and entering into a contract for the development of the West Park, excuse me, the West, you know, I'm all about West Park. Pardon me, for the development of the West Avenue Pocket Park located at 1504 West Avenue. Director Reardon.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. So, you know, this property is not new to the city. I think we've, you know, had it for a bit now. There's been quite a bit of work done with the Leaders of Today organization. They actually, I think, brought this to the city, maybe 2 years ago now. So they did a lot of community outreach. The students did a great, you know, project for that. So we're finally able to move forward with actually developing it into, you know, a lot of, and almost 100% based on the feedback, you know, from their project and also from the pop-up community event it's been a bit, but they had out there at the actual location. So, just looking again for this to go out to bid, to be able to, start the work on it.
I know this has been in the works for a while, so it's good to see it coming to fruition. Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Madam Chair, to Director Reardon, is the garden that's already kind of in existence there, is that part of the park?
No, through you, Madam Chair, that is not our property. So our property line, it's actually a very small parcel. I don't have the exact measurements, although I think it's like 151 by 72, I think is the dimensions of the parcel. But no, that is library property.
I thought it was ours.
Mm-mm.
Mr. Stewart?
To the, Director Reardon, I was just looking at this on my phone. That was one of the questions I was gonna ask, because I think initially they had some conceptual drawings kind of meandering through even the library park, property, just kind of seeing if that was a conceptual, I thought. But I see the other one is the Elyria Farmers Market. So per county records, it still is in there as Elyria Farmers Market. That would be the first, set of parcels. You got the corner parcel, which would be I think that's the city of Elyria.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a series of other properties that go down to 16th Street.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still labeled, so I don't know if is what I'm getting at, if that hasn't transferred yet, or...
Through you, Mr. Chair, and obviously, if anyone else would like to weigh in. So just that squarish parcel that is directly catty-corner from the former Catholic church that is now currently a church as well. That would be the future site. It has been already declared a park property. The property that goes along West Avenue south, I guess I would say on the short end of that block, is property that was purchased by John Viard. And there's, I believe it's still in process, a project with Lorraine County Community Action Agency. The idea was that it would be a produce market year-round, and that it would be somewhat of a companion to what was envisioned to be at this park space. There have been, over the last several years, conversations with the library, but my understanding is that while they are happy to see this park here, that they are also happy to maintain their property. So the way it would be is that we have this pocket park. So as you go down 16th, yes, okay. So you're going to have the Polish Club, then you'll have the library's open space that the mural Leaders of the Day mural looks upon right now, the gardens, and then ultimately the park as it develops.
Yep. I just remember there was some communication about kind of developing that whole little area, just kind of working with Mr. Viard and the library just to kind of incorporate that whole area there. But, okay, thank you.
Director Pianowski.
Yes, thank you, and through you. I think the idea is that while they'll all be separately owned, they'll play off of each other, they'll complement each other. So we have the library, we have the pocket park, and we have the market that's going to be, so the idea is they're all owned by 3 different entities, but they'll play off of each other and support each other and provide a nice addition to that space.
Thank you. Mr. Armstrong?
Through you, Madam Chair. What was the final, what did they actually decide that was going to go in there? Because I know there was different things that the people were saying they wanted to see, like the theater and other things. What was actually chosen?
So through you, Chair, and I apologize, I don't have pictures. I can get them out to you guys. So based on the budget, so the amphitheater thing was not able to fit in the allotted budget. There's going to be I'll call it a gazebo, but not like what is in the square. It'll be a covered, shaded area that also could be utilized as a stage or a performing area if needed. There's going to be, Mr. Stewart is calling it a meandering path. There will be a walkway, we'll call it, through kind of the middle of the park, some picnic tables. There's also going to be to the east side a section that will have like permeable pavers on it that you can put like food trucks up onto, so you can have that space there. A drinking fountain, and then there's also going to be how it is in the specs right now. And, some of these numbers were from last year, so, depending on when it goes out to bid and where the numbers come back, this may not be, every single thing, but the idea is to have a barrier between the park space and the sidewalk. There will be these planter boxes that can have these, removable, like sliding things, so different art and different things can be put in there from the community. So that's a pretty cool feature. The idea is to have an arch similar to Pioneer Plaza, so if you're looking at it from the corner of both of the streets, that'll kind of be I'm going to call it a plaza area, but, some sort of concrete welcoming area into the park, landscape, things like that. It's going to be a very passive park. So, a park this small, I've said this numerous times, but you're not going to have a playground. You're not going to have things like this, but there will be benches, some shade, areas where people can gather. You could have small events there, things like that.
Thank you. Mr. Oswald?
Through you, Madam Chair, Ms. Reardon, a hopeful completion date.
Sorry, through you, I don't even want to say one, I'll be honest. I hate to put dates out there. It hasn't even, obviously been put out to bid yet, because this is why we're here. So at this time, I don't even want to say a date. Okay. I'm done doing that.
Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Madam Chair, so when she said that you could, like, host a little party or something like that, there is zero parking,
True.
zero.
Yes. So through you, Chair, so not a lot, some of the work as part of the project for the Leaders of Today was, you know, the idea of these pocket parks is to have them walkable. So yes, I know I did mention an event, but the idea of a pocket park is to have the people that are in the immediate area, not that others would be excluded from this, but, you know, a space for people in the immediate area to gather. You know, we do have the library there, so I'm sure they would be open to, you know, there are a few spots. But yeah, the idea of a pocket park is not really to draw from all areas, it's to draw from the immediate area of where that space is located. I know, it's not.
Mr. Armstrong?
Through you, Madam Chair, are we matching them some money? Didn't they raise some money for this park, or no, themselves, to help with the cost?
Sorry, through you, Chair, are you talking about Leaders of Today?
Yes, ma'am.
So they received a grant, which they actually already have the water fountain for that. So yes, they have that. I'm not aware, there was talk of them raising other funds. I know at one point they thought they may have $1,000. So, I don't know their latest number for this, but, I mean, yeah, if they would like to, you know, donate anything further, absolutely. And I'll get with Marcellus once we get, you know, further along in the process and talk to him, but we've never really talked about a specific amount that they would, you know, give to the project.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions? I just want to say, Leaders of Today, they did a fantastic presentation before council. We've been working on this for a few years. They did the flower in the middle of the street. It was awesome. And I hope they do that again, because everybody was talking about it. It was awesome. So hats off to Leaders of Today. So, any other questions? Okay, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the development of the West Avenue Pocket Park located at 1504 West Avenue. And this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for said project. 2016 0.5% income tax fund have been appropriated. Emergency clause is requested. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Oswald, second by Mr. Armstrong. Any other questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mrs. Reardon. There's nothing else to come before this committee. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.